Yes then guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to take you through 6 exercises that I rarely see people doing in the gym. But it confuses me because these exercises are good for muscle growth, good for recovery and mobility. I'll address some key areas in the body that always get injured and address some hypertrophy exercises that you should add into your program if you've never used before. On to the first exercise, and the first exercise is chest supported row. And this is very good because it allows you to stay in place and really exaggerate the stretch on the working muscle. And it also doesn't allow you to cheat, because when it comes to rowing, you see a lot of this, like people using their mobility. No, you see a lot of people using their momentum to take them, and you see a lot of this, like coming back. But the bench will lock you in place and allow you to actually target your back properly. So I'll show you. As you can see, this exercise, you are locked in place. There is no way you're going to be cheating. It is also known as the humble row because it is very honest, and when you stretch all the way down to the bottom and you really exaggerate the squeeze at the top, this actually makes for a great back contraction and is a lot better than many other rowing alternatives that people do. A quick one, make sure that you're high enough up the bench so that you don't hit the clips with the dumbbells. The second exercise, and it comes to isolating your side down. You'll see most people do a dumbbell lateral raise in the gym, and that's great, but the problem with dumbbell lateral raise is it's only hard for this portion of the rep, because really, after you've got it there, there's not actually challenging for your side down anymore. So if you wanted to solve that problem, what you would do is use a cable lateral raise. And this is because there is resistance throughout the rep. The cables provide you with more resistance at the top of the rep, which is where you don't get it with the dumbbells. So if you were to incorporate this alongside, or if you drop out your dumbbell for a period of time and put this in, then it will be a new stimulus, and you will notice it will be a little harder at first, and then when you plateau on this, you can drop it out and revert back to your dumbbell. But it's always good to have a few exercises that do the same movement pattern but are slightly different. You could start using an incline machine press because it's a more honest way to progress. You're not actually moving as you would be on a barbell as much, and you can only really focus on actually pressing it up. Unlike a barbell, you see a bit like shifting from side to side. I'll show you. What I do find with machine chest presses is that you're not losing as much as your stabilization muscles, and when it gets harder or later on into the training cycle and you maybe wouldn't be able to keep your technique the same, with the machine presses it is a lot easier to keep your technique the same because you can't actually change it because the bar path is already done for you. So this is a more honest way to progress, and you can actually monitor progression a lot easier than you could with barbells or dumbbells, because there is always a little more room to cheat there, I find. Now we're going to get on to a rear delt exercise. Most people really struggle to isolate their rear delts, and the rear delt exercise that you mainly see people doing in the gym are this one, and they're swinging up, or they've got the machine where they've got their chest against it, but it's actually horizontal against them, and they're swinging back like that. So what I would recommend that you do is this chest supported row, because it removes your inability to cheat throughout the rep. And again, it's much more honest progression, and you can actually feel your rear delts moving, opposed to these where it's like, what are we training here? Nobody knows. But with this, I'll show you, it's a lot easier. With this exercise, you have the advantage of gravity being on your side. Because you are lying on something, it is a lot harder to cheat. It's pretty much impossible to cheat unless you really try, which you should never be doing. And with this exercise, you want to take it really slow on the negative part of the rep. You want to explode up, really feel that contraction in the rear delts at the top, and then slowly down. We don't want to be moving too fast. This is all about contracting the muscle. It's very hard to contract your rear delts, and what you really want to be focusing on is trying to feel those in this exercise, and you should be able to do that more than the alternatives that you're currently using. Now for the fifth exercise, we are mixing it up a bit. This is a exercise that I put into all my clients' programs for their warm-ups to actually get their hips nice and open before they do their squats. What I have found since implementing this exercise at the start of every single one of my leg days, I don't have bad hips anymore. I used to have pretty tight hips, and this has made a huge difference. And it's only 3 sets of the same exercise, so I'll show you that now. As you can see at the start, I point at my hips. So your opposite hip to the leg that you're lunging in will be really stretching on this one. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your hamstring to touch your calf. It can be somewhat challenging at first, and it will take you some time. But you can stand on a box if you haven't got enough stability. You can also hold something with one of your hands. But after a while, it will feel fairly easy, and you will really feel your hips open up over the weeks, and you will notice a real difference. And when you're squatting, it will feel totally different. If you are stiff at the moment, I would highly recommend whacking this one in. I cannot say enough good things about it. Every time that I put it in one of my clients' programs, they really notice a difference after a few weeks. We have dead hangs. These are great for your shoulders. We still have the same shoulder joints as monkeys because we do originate from them, independent of what Christians would like to believe. Shoulders. So within our working day, we are hunched over, and most of us are on our phones like this, yeah? But historically, our shoulders are used to being like that, yeah? And that's open, and that's closed, yeah? Very closed, very hunched over. And that's why a lot of people have bad shoulders. And dead hangs just 3 times a week for 30 seconds can improve your rate, not improve your rate, can decrease the rate of shoulder injury by 99%. There was a guy who swam around England once, his name's Ross Edgley, and he swears by dead hangs. And imagine how much pressure would be on your shoulders swimming 178 days, 12 hours a day straight. And I mean, if he didn't get an injury, then there must be something to it. This one is very simple. You just hang, and if you can't hang, then put a box underneath you, because it's actually just having your shoulders in that position for an extended period of time. You don't actually have to put the weight on them, but over time you will be able to build up to that. And then finally, you can do one-handed when you build up to that. This will help stretch out your lats as well, which tends to be a problem because people have stiff lats. So overall, shoulders, back, this is great for stretching out, and I would highly recommend you do this if you have bad shoulders. Thanks for watching. As always, I hope that was helpful. Implement these exercises into your workout regime and let me know how they go for you. I'm sure they will make a huge difference. Again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. See you in the next one. Peace.